Well, hello and welcome back. Second time lucky. I must have had, excuse me, a loose connector, because 1 minute I had the video working and the next minute it had stopped. So fingers crossed that we get through this one okay. Good morning to you. It is Monday morning, the 9th of September, excuse me, 2024. My name's Jenny McCormac, and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire, here in the UK. A warm welcome to you. If you're watching live, do say hi. It's always lovely to know who's joined with us. And if you're watching on catch up, please say hi in the comments as well. If you have any excuse me, questions or queries, just pop them in the comments. I do monitor them. Sometimes they slip by, especially on Facebook, but if you have any questions, just let me know. So let us see how we're getting on today. This is our stamp set of the week and the cards that we created last week. Oh, hi Lynn, and hello Caroline. Thank goodness we have some. Oh, excellent. Lynn's meeting got cancelled, so she's watching while she's working. So this is the cute stamp set. Christmas Friends. Sorry about the lights, it's a little bit dull this morning. And we've got 4 cute images of animals. We've got an owl, a polar bear, a skating moose, and a caroling mouse, a little tree, and then 3 sentiments that go with that. These are the cards that we created on Thursday evening, and this is what we are creating at Coffee and Card this week. So this afternoon in Toaster and tomorrow in Brackley. And just a note, if anybody's watching that's planning to come to Toaster, is Watling Street Village, where we normally meet, is shut for refurbishment for the next couple of days. So we're just meeting in Costa Coffee in Watling Street in Toaster, just a little bit further up the road. Just for this week, hopefully. So these are the cards that we made. I used a little trim off the papers and created these using the tags here. So I'm going to do a stepped up version today, so I thought I would do some masking because I haven't done any masking for a little while. Let's move those down a little bit. My camera's obviously in an odd position today. Hey ho, it's Monday morning. Right, so let's get these loaded up on our blocks. I also thought this would make a really fun slimline card that is the width of an A4. So like this here, you can have all the characters lined up facing each other. So that would be rather fun. So, and let's see. So the only slight issue I have with putting all of these together is the size differential. So we've got a polar bear and a moose, which are similar. We've got a smaller mouse, although that would obviously be a lot smaller, but our owl is almost as big as our polar bear. So I think what I'm going to do for my masking is that I'm probably just going to use these 3 because they're of similar sizes. And I thought I had a panel ready cut. Who knows? It's Monday morning, isn't it? So let me just quickly cut another. So I'm going to just cut this in half to start with. So I know that's half a sheet of A4, and then I'm going to cut this to 9.5 by 13.85, and that will give me a small layer then for some card or paper. If you're wondering what paper I've got behind here, it's from a lovely stack of papers called Take a Bow or Take a Bow because it goes with the bow maker dies, and it's just really nice reds and greens, perfect for Christmas. We've got stripes and dots and all sorts. Okay, so when you're masking, you want to stamp whatever's going to be in the front first, but what I'm thinking is, and what I might do, is tear some paper to go over the top. So I'm just having a look. So I could have him and the little mouse in front, and then the moose here on the left. So it's going to be, I want them facing each other. So actually what I'm going to do is start with the moose, because I want to get him on, or her on, in full. And I could use espresso. I've got pebbled path. I'll just use early espresso as my colour. I'm just going to move these out because the blocks are reflecting rather. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. Let's put that on there. Can't believe it's Monday morning. And 10:15 already. Well, nearly 10:20. Okay, so I'm going to pop this on here, our little skeeting moose. And I'm going to have him or her right the way over to the left. And what I'd like to add are some trees in the background. That's probably going to be where most of the masking will take place. And then let's see, I want the polar bear there facing, and then the mouse is going to go in front. So let's pop this mouse on the right hand side. So remember, whatever you want in the front you need to stamp first, and I do want his little tail with the bell on, like so. Let me lift it up so you can see him. So there's our cute little moose, and there's our little mouse. Okay, and then that will give me space for my polar bear, and I'm going to put my polar bear just behind this mouse here, so they're not just sort of lined up together. So I'm just going to cut out an image of that mouse, and the nice thing is, because this edge is over here, I don't have to be too detailed about the tail. So I'm going to take a couple of post-it notes, because if you're cutting one, you might as well cut a couple at the same time. So there's my mouse. Just move that to one side for a minute. So I've got 2 sheets. Actually I could put 3 on there, because no doubt Scott will want to do some masking this afternoon. So you could, it'd be quite good fun if you were that way inclined, to have a choir of mice. Wouldn't that be fun? A whole bunch of mice all singing. So you would need to mask those. So just putting these 3 pieces together. Let's see who else has joined us. So good morning to anybody else who has joined us since we started. I had a false start. I had a loose wire. Hi Catherine. Oh yes, silver full card would work well with the moose. Good point. Right, I'm going to take that. I have to take my glasses off for this. So I'm just going to cut. So I've got 3 post-it note layers together, like so. And I'm just very quickly cutting around here. Let's just cut this piece off so you can see what I'm doing. And make sure you keep the masks when you've got the stamp set. keep them in the stamp set box, and then when you pick it up next year or next week, you've still got the masks at the ready. Don't throw them away. You could also use our masking paper. You want something that's fairly thin. You don't want to use card or anything else like that. So just cutting around the paws of the mouse. Can't tell if it's a boy or a girl mouse. And there are some lovely dies that go with this, which I believe have got musical notes, but there isn't a stamp for the music, which is a bit of a shame because that would have been quite nice. I suppose you could draw them in if you wanted to. Oops. Okay. Whoops. So I'm just going to cut round this bit. I don't think I will need it necessarily. All I want to do is cover the front of the mouse so that I can add my polar bear and it'll look like the mouse is in front. And I want a bit of a gap here between the two, which is why I just put the stamps down to get an idea that it is all going to fit. So yep, I'm happy with that. I don't need all 3 layers though. And you want to cut it close to the image, if not slightly inside, or position your post-it note very slightly inside, like so. Okay, I'm going to stick with espresso. Oh, sorry about that. And pop him down there. Okay, so now when I take this piece away, I've got my, hopefully you can see that, oops, little mouse with the polar bear, and then we've got our ice skating moose coming here on the left hand side. So let me see what sentiment I've got. That's a nice space for a sentiment, but I am thinking I'm going to put some trees sort of on either. Am I going to put some trees on either edge? I don't know. Maybe I'll just use a blending brush. But I'm going to put a sentiment on here as well. And I am thinking, so let's put that little mouse chappy back. It's twins. Right. So this one has got a great selection of Christmas sentiments. So we've got season's greetings, we've got happy and merry, and then Christmas and New Year, both in the block and also in the script. So you could have wishing you a Merry Christmas, wishing you a Happy New Year. Right, let's have a look here. Season's greetings. We'll work on there. Yes, I think that will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some blending, but I think what I'm actually going to do is add a couple of trees behind this moose. So let's put that on there so I don't lose it. Let's stamp the moose and do the same thing. I like to take it off the post-it note block, because if you've got a large post-it note block it can be a little bit uneven. So right, just thinking the best way to cut it, sorry. There we go. So again, I've got 3 layers, or 3 layers, and I'm just going to cut round this piece here, like so, and I sent out an email this morning, so everybody on my email list, not my blog list, but my email list, will have received, or should have received, some information about 2 fabulous kits that are on their way to our warehouse in Germany. One makes some Christmas ornaments with gold rings and pine cones and things like that, and then the other one is a card keeper box, and that makes 10 cards, but also includes a box that you put together that can store your cards in, with little index cards as well. So they're late coming in, thanks to all these global transport issues like the Suez Canal and all of that. But I don't think they'll stay for long. Because they're late coming in, I suspect we may not get another delivery before Christmas. So the card box is not a Christmas related item. Great for giving for Christmas, but it's not Christmas cards. So actually that wouldn't matter if it came in a bit later, because you could use that all the way through. But I thought it was a great Christmas present for somebody. So if you want to, what I'm doing is taking pre-orders, so that as soon as I see them come in, I can put a block order in, because I can email you when they come in. But if they're popular, which I suspect they will be, they might go out of stock almost straight away. So watch out for that. And the Expressions of Kindness kit, that is also due in, I believe, possibly before those. And if you've been waiting for that, that's that really pretty set here, this one. Then let me know and I can add that to my order as well. Well, I'll order when they come in, I should say. Right, whose idea is this to do this, Jenny? Okay. Right, nearly there. Sorry, I could have cut these out before, couldn't I? Okay, I think we're there. It's amazing how the tiniest thread of paper can hold on to it. So I'm just going to pop some trees off behind this behind this mousse here. And there. I think that will do. We'll see. Right, so I'm just positioning that on there, and I just make sure that I'm not going any further than that. And I think I'm just going to use this fun, this is from Decorative Trees, which has some fabulous dies with lots of different tree fronts. But I'm just going to use this because it's quite whimsical. I don't need a sort of formal tree. It does have an outline, but I'm thinking that would work quite nicely. So let's find a block. Like so. And oops, put my finger in the ink pad. And I've got garden green, I've got old olive, just garden green. Shaded spruce would work as well, wouldn't it? Let's just stamp this on this piece of card, see what it looks like. Make sure my ink pad is up to scratch. Yeah, I think that'd be quite fun behind. So I'm going to have one there, and then one here, like that. So if you want to see what it's looking like, just peel your post-it note back. Okay. I would always keep my finger on it so you're not having to replace the whole thing. So I think I'm going to put another little one in that little gap there. Obviously you could go right the way over if you wished. I'm just going to have this one between the moose's antlers. I suppose I could put one here because I've got my little mouse. Put something behind there, couldn't I? I'm going to have to do a little bit of cutting, I've decided. And then once I've done this, all that's left is for me to do a quick bit of colouring. The good thing is the polar bear doesn't need any colouring. Not sure if that's going to stay put or not. No. I had a feeling that was going to happen. Okay. Right. And then I just need an edge there for the polar bear. And then I can have a few trees there. Alright, doesn't matter what colour you use for stamping your mask. Like so. I've got a green polar bear. So I just really need that area. So just cutting, and I'm not being 100% precise and accurate. There we go. So I hope everybody had a nice weekend. As I said earlier, the weather here was somewhat better than they said it would be. We had the Tour of Britain, the men's cycle race, in the local area on Saturday. I think Catherine saw some Friday and Saturday, I think. So I was working, unfortunately, because I'd love to have seen it. Okay. Just going to do this while I'm here. There we are. So this is going over here. Oh, sun's come out, speaking of which. Okay, so my mouse is covered up, his tail is covered up, my polar bear is covered up. So let's grab that tree stamp again. And I can actually So I'm just looking at the bit between the behind the bell. There's that one there. Let's have one. Oh, I need space for my sentiment, don't I? So it might be a smaller sentiment after all that. Okay, let's have a look and see. And I think I need one more. Oh, I've lost my tail piece in my ink pad. So I'm just going to put the tip of this on here. I just want to be careful not to get anything untoward. Okay. Come on. Right. Okay, we're getting there. So I do want my sentiment, which I'm hoping is still going to fit in there. Just season's greetings. Says, I haven't used this one, so I'm just going to ink it out. It's always best to ink it when you have a new stamp set, just to make sure that it's that your ink pad is enough ink and that it's inking up okay, but also that there's no flaw in the stamp set. It does happen occasionally, not very often. There we go. Season's greetings, a bit close to him really. Okay, so let's put these other stamps out of the way for the minute. So I'm going to do a quick bit of colouring, and does that belong to anything? No. I don't want to throw away any useful bits. A post-it note. Okay, let's grab some pens. Just wondering what I did with them. There we are. I had to unpack all my bags for class in Buckingham on Saturday. That's Crumb Cake Dark. Petal Pink for some ears and things. And then a bit of red. Okay, so let's do the mousse first. I've got dark and light crumb cake, so I'm going to colour this fairly swiftly, as you will have seen me colour these the other day. Certainly the mousse and the polar bear. I haven't coloured the mouse yet. So just using a little bit of dark where they've added some detail here. Maybe a little bit darker underneath the scarf. And on the edges of their antlers. And then just the light to go over that. Let's see, there's more on the other side. Because it's quite a big area and I don't want to keep you waiting while I'm colouring. Just going to use the broad tip, and then I'll use the fine tip for the blending. Okay. I might keep the antlers dark. As I said, on Thursday I probably need to look up and really see what colour a moose is in reality. However, when you've got fun characters like this, I think you can get away with almost anything. So I do have some more exciting news to share, which is I'm getting very close to earning our incentive trip this year. So each year all demonstrators have the opportunity to earn an incentive trip. Oh, and you, Catherine, you've been somewhere else. Hi, Nick, and hi, Fran. Thanks for joining us, everybody. So yes, all demonstrators have the opportunity, and if you're very good on sales, you can earn it just on sales alone. If you're good at building and supporting a team, you can earn it that way. I would say the majority of demonstrators who do earn the trip, and I have to say is a small percentage of the 50-odd thousand demonstrators in the world. Most demonstrators have a business model that is a combination of a team and their own sales. So I'm getting close to earning it. I have the opportunity to earn it till the end of September. So I'm offering a free pack of embellishments when you place excuse me, an order for £25 or more. The embellishments are typically £6 or £7, so it's a really good deal. So if you do want to order some supplies or some of the kits, then I would be most appreciative. Right, there's my moose, apart from his scarf. Let's just do... I'm going to go traditional red and green, why not, for his scarf. I did green and yellow actually, my last one, but you could do red and, oh yes, red and green. You could do red and white stripes if you wanted. There we go. That one. That one. That one there. Fill it in with the red. There we have it. Now, assuming I can find my blending brushes, I'm going to add a little bit of blue sky in the background. I could, I suppose, mask all of that off and have trees right the way in the background, but I'm quite happy with that as is. Actually, I could give these skates little red runners, couldn't I? Okay. Right, just doing a little bit more blending there. And the trick when you're blending is to do a little bit, let it blend together, and then come back and do a little bit more. Don't completely soak one area. Okay, there's my moose. Hi, Nicole in Netherlands, and Brenda, hi. Okay, there's my moose. Here's my polar bear. So the main part of my polar bear is going to be white. I am adding just a little touch of colour. This is crumb cake, but I would probably pick out something like smoky slate or grey granite. But taken enough of your time as it is. So let's have a red bow in here. Like that. There we go. Right, and then some greenery for the wreath. Now these got tiny little dots for the baubles. I'm just going to fill those in afterwards. If you have a silver or a gold gel pen, you could definitely add some of that. I think that is wreath there, and tiniest bit underneath. Let me lift that up so you can see. There we go. Let's have, this is dark poppy parade, but any reds would do. Real red, cherry cobbler. And if you wanted a gold, then the colour, what is it? Wild Wheat looks quite gold when you use it with a blends pen. Right, here's our little mouse. I'm going to do him in grey, and I've got oh, light and dark grey granite. That was a stroke of luck. Here. So there's the dark going on just round the edges. I'm going to add some pink in the ears, adding a little bit there and underneath, and the tail. Just tiny little light strokes if you've got a small area to cover, rather than try and colour it in with a brush stroke. Right, here is dark petal pink. You could use any of the pinks that we've got for the ears, and also you could do it for cheeks, like that. What's the other colour? Bubble bath would probably work. Pretty in pink would also work. So here's light grey granite. So I'm using a circular motion, and if you want to make it look more like fur, you can sort of stipple it as well with lots of little dots like that. There we go. Nearly done. There we go. Oops. Let's make sure we're still live. We are. Let's give them a pink nose, and then if I can find wild wheat, that wasn't pink. Hard to hear that for the bell. There we go. So light wild wheat here. It's quite a nice gold effect. And this one's going to have a tiny little red bow on the top of the bell, like that. And I think we'll have a gold Book of Carols. There we go. So we're getting there. So I'm going to add a little bit of blended blue around the edges, like that. And I want to tear a piece on the bottom just to give it a little bit of interest. So let's do that. Oh, thanks, Fran. So this trip is to Disneyland, Florida, which I've never been to, and that will be next year. So I have earned previously trips to Thailand, Alaska, the Mediterranean. Hawaii, sadly, was affected by COVID. So although I earned it, we didn't get to go, which was really disappointing because that was definitely one on my bucket list. Okay, let's make this a little bit narrower. Fingers crossed, thank you. I've definitely got my fingers crossed. Right. I just want to put this on, A, because I've got a fingerprint here on the bottom, and I just want it to look like it's a layer of snow. So what I'm doing is that will work. And I'm going to pop it up. I want to put it up on dimensionals. I just wonder, I was just thinking if I've got some white glitter card, but I won't be able to tear that narrow strip in quite the same way. So I could use some Wink of Stella on it, or I could sprinkle some glitter on it later. I might do that. So I think I'm just going to put it down flat because it's quite narrow, and then just trim the edge off. Let's find a glue. Oh, sorry, Cheetah. I've got a dog underneath the table. And Woody's out on a play date. So I'm just putting this glue on, but not too close to the edge, because I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom. So like so. So I've got this little piece coming over, I've got a little dip there, and I could do a little bit there, but I think I'll be right. Okay, so now I can trim that and put it on my card. Get there eventually. Take my glasses off to see where that's going to cut. There we go. Very blustery here today. I can hear it all blowing the trees around, which means we'll lose the leaves too quickly. Right. Okay, let me just see if I can find a blending brush. And I have. Let's put a piece of paper behind. I'm just going to add this in. I don't clean my blending brushes because you can just reuse the ink that's on there if there's any. There's not much on that one. If not, I'll re-ink it. Normally there's plenty on my blue ones, blue and green are probably my most popular ones. A little bit more there. So I'm just going over that area, and I know that I can see it more deeply than it shows on the screen. Hopefully you can see that. Let's clear the decks a little bit as well. So for those of you that missed earlier, these were the basic cards for Coffee and Card. And I do have my paper shares available for the autumn winter catalogue, and also offering ribbon and embellishment shares. Pop a little bit on there, and I'm not worrying that I'm going over the tree, because you see the clouds and stuff through the trees. There we are. Nearly there. All I've got to do is now mount this onto a card, and we're done. There we go. Sweet. Right, so I'm thinking probably garden green or real red behind that. Have a look. Oh, that's Poppy Parade actually, which is what the red was, but it will give us an idea. So that's the red. It's going to go onto a white card. And then this is the green. What do we think? That's Poppy Parade, which is actually the red that I used. And here's the white card. I think probably red. I think the green, there's a lot of green with all the trees, isn't there? What do you think? Any thoughts? I'm thinking red. Good. Voila. I've changed my mind now. Decisions. No, I'm going to go green. Like so. Yeah, that'll do. Thank you, Joe. Right, so I'm cutting this slightly smaller than my card. There we go. 10 centimetres. By 14.35. That's Woody coming back from his play date. There we are. And there. What do we reckon? Let's just layer those together then. And we're done. if you wanted to, what I did on my sample on Thursday was I added some Wink of Stella to the polar bear. So the polar bear was a little bit glittery. And there we are. Season's greetings. We've got the polar bear and the mouse on the right. We've got the moose on the left. And then let's add sentiment on the inside. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Why not? I can find it. And a block. And we're done. Time for coffee, I think. I did that in espresso, so I'll do this in espresso, and I might pop a couple of trees on the inside just to finish it off. Like so. And there's my tree stamp. Go. Make sure I stamp it in garden green, which is here. And there are some little stars and things on this stamp set. So I could put a couple of little stars in the middle. Let's add. Stamp this one off. So I've got a lighter one just here. Like that. No, I think I'm happy with that. I could add some little stars, but I'm happy with that. It's daylight after all. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me for a slightly more extended session this morning. So just a fair bit of masking. Would have been quicker if I'd already pre-cut the masks, but hey ho, there we go. And I just realised I've got an ink mark down there. Hey ho. I bet you hadn't noticed it until I pointed it out. Okay, so thank you so much. I hope you like the design and a little bit of technique with the masking. I shall be back on Thursday, but I might pop on in the meantime because I've got a couple of other hints and tips to share with you. So do take care. I hope you can join me either for coffee and card or online. And I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much, everyone. Do take care, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.